What's up, Victoria? It's me, Victoria, and I have to unpack all the makeup I took to Creator and Friends in New York City with me. It's been like 2 weeks since I've been home. I've unpacked my clothes the day I got home, but a lot of you asked me for a packing video, and I didn't do that. And so this is my unpacking makeup video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a full face of makeup using the stuff that I took with me, and I'm also going to get to put it away in this video. I'm not going to film me putting it actually in my drawers, but I'm going to show you what I brought, tell you why I brought it, and also apply it. So let's just jump into it. I need to organize it on my end because I did end up taking a lot of makeup. I don't think anyone's surprised, but if you are new here, I would love for you to subscribe. My channel is mostly focused on loving my makeup collection as it is first and foremost, and being discerning about any new purchases I'm making. Right now, I'm calling it a casual no-buy because I'm not really making content surrounding it, but I guess I am mentioning it here and now. So I guess that's me talking about it. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm feeling really fed up with the state of the world as a trans person. Everything else going in the world, like Free Palestine, like there's so much going on in the world right now, and it's pretty exhausting. And I know that these companies do not have my best interest in mind. They don't have your best interest in mind. They just want our money. So I would suggest you potentially going on a no-buy as well. And I would also suggest that if you are looking to make any purchases anytime in the near future, see if an indie brand has something that you want. See if a brand that's not like financially owned by some kind of brokers. That's my suggestion to you at this time. Anyway, I would love for you to subscribe if you are new to me. It didn't feel ridiculous at the time, but now that we're sitting here, it's feeling quite ridiculous. I'm gonna go through each thing. So what I wanted to say up front is that I was in New York City for 4 days, and then I was in the Catskills for 5 days. And that was kind of how the trip worked out for me. The first couple of days when I was in New York City was unrelated to the Creator and Friends event. And I really thought I was going to be wearing makeup while I was in New York City, but the absolute humidity and heat, and then also cold, and then also rain that I experienced while I was there, and it made it really inconsistent and hard to wear makeup experience for me. So I didn't wear as much makeup as I thought, because I had some makeup that I was like, oh, I'll wear this in New York City, not in the Catskills, and then that didn't end up happening. We'll just kind of do a full face. We're not going to do anything complicated because it's more talking about what I brought and why. This SPF, I'm not talking about all the skincare I brought, but I was using this as a primer. This was something I got in PR a while ago. This is the Green Tea Super Light Daily Defense Sunscreen from Tony Moly, and I really like this. I don't need sunscreen as I'm filming right now, so I'm not going to be putting this on, but this is a chemical sunscreen. I quite like it. It worked well as a primer, but it kind of has a little bit of a glowier finish. It definitely has like that sunscreen glowiness to it that many people know what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm going to put this on my lips. This isn't what I took, but I don't know where the other thing is. This is actually something I got while I was in the Catskills. This is the KULFI Lip Snack Balm, and I have the shade Vanilla Sponge Cake, which is just a shimmery lip gloss. Is this supposed to be a lip gloss? It says glossing lip balm. Okay. Yeah, I'll put this on while I do everything. No thoughts on that yet, but it does smell good. And I like the texture of it. A couple of things, because again, the state of the world, and also just like, I'm having a lot of big feelings. I think a lot of people are. I've also, have been having private conversations with people behind the scenes, good ones, but there's a lot of like sadness in the trans community and the LGBTQ community right now, especially in the United States. And I'm speaking as someone who lives in the United States, so that's the perspective at which I'm coming at this, but there's a lot of trans issues happening around the world as well. And I wouldn't say that I feel like I'm directly in the line of fire. There are definitely people who are like binary trans, and trans women specifically, who are going to experience a lot of backlash because of this. And I'm so sorry that you are being used as a scapegoat, and that we are being used as scapegoats. It's just truly not fair, and we are just like losing our humanity as we continue on. We've been watching a genocide happen for, is this gonna be like is this the second year or the third year? Like, it's like all of this terrible stuff has been going on. We have the worst president in the United States that we've ever had. It's just like awful. It's so awful it just feels awful to be alive right now. And on top of that, I had to take my dog to emergency care over the weekend. We are doing fine. She is fine, but that was a very stressful moment. I had a little mentee bee over that. And like, of course I would be sad that my dog isn't feeling well under any circumstances. However, it is just, I'm feeling like there's enough obstacles that I feel like I have to overcome that felt really unfair that was an additional thing. I'm not coming at you at my best, and I am trying to be entertaining, but as always, I will have links in my pinned comment to support people directly in Gaza. Make the shopping choices that are best for you, that support the causes that you want. You don't have to shop at all right now. In fact, that is what I'm encouraging. And that's kind of how I'm operating as I'm navigating through the space. I have PR that I haven't touched yet, and I will feature that, but that's it. That's going to be like the newness. And I wish I was going on a no-buy for like other reasons. I don't know. I don't know how to explain this to you, but like, it's out of protest. It's out of like boycotting, but it's also like, you know, just really kind of this time is revealing to me just like how messed up everything has been for so long. And I knew that, but it's just like, how are we here? For our primer, I took this because I'm trying to use it up. This is the VIEVE Skin Nova Instant Radiance Primer. I did a whole VIEVE brand review, so if you missed that, go check out that video. And I took this because I didn't want to take this, and they are very similar product. I like did my hair all cute and left pieces out, and now I'm like, okay, now we're gonna pin it up. The reason I took this was mostly because it was a mini. I don't think I have that many uses left. There wasn't a ton in there to begin with because it's a travel size, but I would say maybe I have one more use after this. And I use this every time I was doing my makeup in the evening and I wasn't needing to wear SPF. During the day, if I was wearing makeup, I was using the sunscreen as SPF. I still really like this. I'm still considering buying this once I make it through the Victoria Beckham primer, but I still think I have quite the time to go for that Victoria Beckham primer. You want to know something that I'm self-conscious about that I learned about myself in the Catskills? I was applying sunscreen and Simri and Kelly were in the room while I was doing it. And I don't know why this is what happened, but like the room became fully silent and they were just watching me apply SPF, and I was like, I do not wish to be perceived while I do this, because I will be honest with you, I don't really like talking about SPF on my channel, reviewing SPF or pretending that I can be a quality resource for people about SPF. I can talk about like textures and how it wears under makeup. Like I'm fine talking about that, but people get really in their feelings about SPF. And so I really am not usually applying it on camera at all for you. So it was weird to have people watching. I was like, this is exactly what I try to avoid by not doing that on YouTube. I did really good. I only took one foundation and one concealer. So I took the Victoria Beckham concealer. I found this as an incredible opportunity for me to take some of my favorite makeup that is overlooked by like newness. I just took my favorite makeup. And so I took the Victoria Beckham concealer. It's a very worthy concealer. And actually most of the time when I was in the city for the daytime, I just kind of like swiped this on my cheeks and like a little in the center of my face under my eyes. And then that was like my whole complexion for the day. And like, did it hold up perfectly? No, but like in the mornings when I was looking a little bit rougher and tougher, it was definitely just something to put on really quick. I'm going to leave that on for a second before I decide to blend it out. I think I have a concealer brush from Singe that I haven't tried yet. So I unpacked my brushes already. So I'm not going to show you which brushes I took with me. I also got a ton of brushes because Reffer was there, and so was Singe, and so was Sigma. The Sigma brushes were in a gifting suite, which is actually quite cool. I really like that as an option because stuff was laid out for you to take if you wanted to take it. There are a lot of people who were at Creator and Friends that get PR from Sigma quite regularly. So like a lot of them just kind of took some of their favorite stuff that they wanted to re-up on, which like brush cleaner and Sigma switches, which was kind of the more popular thing. Those kind of went kind of quickly. I didn't take any of the Sigma brushes because I've tried a bunch of Sigma brushes. I took the Reffer brushes to see if I changed my mind on them, and I really haven't. I have a couple new shapes from them, and like I haven't used them enough to definitively say that, but there's something about them that I just don't think they blend as well as my other brushes, and I think that other brushes that I try at similar and less expensive price points of them, then that work better, and I just like, why would I use this? No shade to Reffer. The owner is very nice. I love that people love Reffer brushes, and I'm not trying to discourage you from shopping from them. I don't think they're like a bad company or anything. It's just like, that's my thoughts and feelings on just the quality of their brushes. It's just not what I would choose. Okay, let's try this FO2 brush from Singe. I can't imagine it being bad. It's a little bit thicker and bigger than the concealer brush I usually use. My preferred concealer brush for a while has been the BK Beauty A506 with Angie Hot and Flashy. I like this shape, this like kind of angled shape. This one looks less the cat kitty paw, and it's more like kind of like the pat of a finger. Pat McGrath, the brand, has a brush. I don't know if they still sell it, but they had a brush that was shaped like this. Patting out your concealer with your finger is a pretty effective way to do it. That's the Victoria Beckham concealer. Honestly, my skin's in a really good place despite like this zit that came up the other day, but it also might be a bug bite because it's itchy. For foundation, I took the SURRATT Dewdrop foundation. I decanted mine in case you're new here and you don't know that, but it comes in a different package than this. I loved wearing this all week, during the day, during the evening. Just still my favorite foundation. I was concerned that the Patrick Ta foundation would dethrone it, and it might have if I had kept using the Patrick Ta foundation, but out of an abundance of just like not wanting to feature Patrick Ta on my channel because of his choices and how he's treated the Black creators he's worked with, I'm just not featuring it on my channel anymore. So that's why you won't see it. I will keep using it though. I'm gonna powder my under eyes. I took a couple different like powdering options with me. I brought the Prism, Givenchy? Yeah, the Prism Libre from Givenchy, the old formulation, not the current formulation. And I also brought this. So this is like our first time taking a look at this. Everything's kind of skewed. Hold on. Let me make it look a little bit prettier. So this was my little like custom palette that I took with me. This palette my friend Ananda got from me, and I will link the business down below. They're an Etsy business and they sell a bunch of cute magnetic palettes, and you can get like double-sided ones like this, and you can also get smaller ones. I also have a smaller one from them. We have the HINDASH palettes over here, and then we also have my complexion stuff over here. I'm going to set my under eyes with the Charlotte Tilbury Under Eye Brightening Powder. The first day in the Catskills was when I got that Hello Kitty powder, and that's what I actually used for my under eyes most of my trip. But if I was doing my makeup in the city, I was using the Charlotte Tilbury one just because that was what I had at the time, and I'm trying to use it up. I have like big pan in it. It's still going to take me forever to use up, and I know that. I keep getting sidetracked by powders, and it's like, if there's one thing that's going to take me an eternity to get through, it seems, it's a powder. I'm going to use some Cool Candlelight from PHYTOSURGENCE. I don't think that there's anything that we can really compare this to, or like what category, but I did take it with me, and I did use it every time I did my makeup in the Catskills and in New York, which in New York City, again, it wasn't much. It was the weirdest weather over the 4 days I was in New York City proper. Hot the first day and so humid. It was, well, the humidity was consistent throughout all the days. The next day I wore like a sweater because it was like it was around 70 degrees, and it wasn't like, it was like cold in the morning and then it got hotter as the day progressed. And I mean, if you live in the kind of climate where it's like at a certain time of the year, it just becomes like hard to dress. That was like when I was in New York. It was like hot, cold, hot, cold. I'm going to contour. I took both Intuition and Omen from Rituel Defee. My Intuition is looking a little worse for wear. It needs to be like moved to the center again. Actually, while we're talking about it, I've been meaning to do it, so I'll be right back. So I'm going to use Intuition to carve out here. And of course I use my contours. Even on my lighter makeup days, I threw at least a little bit of Intuition on. Then we're going to move on to blush. So we have some more things to talk about when it comes to the category of blush. I took Plume with me from PHYTOSURGENCE. And mostly I took it so I could show Hannah Louise Poston because I think she would like this color. And she did like this color. And she was like, I need to get it. And I was like, I don't know if you'll be able to. Guys, what brush do I use for cream? Oh, never mind. I'm really on the struggle bus today. Like, I'm like, what? How do I even do this? Plume was a great option. It's a little cool tone, so it did kind of like limit me being able to do like between warm and cool toned looks, but I think we all know the truth that I'm not out here trying to do a bunch of warm toned looks, so this worked really well for me, and it just looks so natural on my skin. It's just a little bit lighter than Condensate, which it isn't even like an intense blush color on me, but this is just like, it's the even fairer version, I feel, of Condensate. So I think if you have deeper skin than me in any way, or if you have like warmer undertones and you have the same skin depth as me, I don't know that you would care for this. I do want to talk about the other blushes I took and I didn't use as much, but I think it's only this one, actually. If I wasn't using Plume, I was using mostly these and kind of mixing my own blush color. But I did take the Chanel blush. I wore it one time while I was gone. Considering I was going to take this huge palette anyway, it fit in there and it didn't mean I had to like not take something else by taking it. I don't think I really regret that, but it was entirely unnecessary for me to take that. So I guess I don't really have regrets. And now I'm going to powder, and we'll talk about powders. I wore all of my powders. I wore this one. I wore the Sisley powder. This is my Chantecaille powder broken up and repressed. I also have the Givenchy powder. I did use all of them. Not all of them every time I did my makeup, but I did at some point use all of them. So we're taking that as a win. I'm going to just set the rest of my face with the Givenchy. I feel like it sounds like I did such a good job packing and not taking an unreasonable amount of stuff, but we're not done. We're not done with this journey yet. Keep that in mind. My true colors will show here in a moment. And I also, I guess, while we're here, I'm going to use the Chantecaille Perfect Blur because why not? For bronzer, I did not take the Trixie bronzer. And I did not take the Gucci bronzer. I took this from SURRATT. This is Grisaille. And this was actually, I think, the best option for me. It warms up my face a little bit without doing too much. I try to take more powder products whenever I'm traveling. It's just like they're easier. I take powder products with me in my like, what's it called? Your personal item whenever I'm on the plane. And so like that way it's just on me. And I could have taken the Gucci bronzer, but the Gucci bronzer can sometimes be a little bit warmer than I'd like. And this can be a really subtle bronzer on me. I was preferring that in the moment. I use this most of the times I did my makeup, but a lot of times I was just kind of like skipping the bronzer step altogether, or I was going into the HINDASH eyeshadows as bronzer, but this was what I took this for, was to be my main bronzer. The first couple times I did my makeup while I was away, I like forgot that that's why I brought it. I was using the HINDASH shadows as bronzers. And I was like, these are starting to look a little too warm. I'm like not really mixing them well. And I was like, I really wish I would have brought another bronzer. And I did. That's what that was for. I only took one highlighter, and this is one of the reasons why it was okay that I took Plume. I took Liluna from HINDASH, and it's like this cool toned highlighter. I've talked about it kind of in the last couple videos, so I'm not gonna like harp on it for too long. I haven't used a fan brush in forever. Let's do it. I don't usually use fan brushes. I just feel like I remember them being like all the rage. You know, just offered to send me PR. And this was so weird because it was like a weird, I felt like I made it moment. But this brand is so entirely irrelevant for most people. I think most people don't care about this brand. But Beauty Blender offered to send me some stuff. And you know what? I can't tell you the last. I have a Beauty Blender and I don't remember when I bought it. I so very rarely use it. They're sending me some Beauty Blenders, which I was like, okay. But I don't know why. I think it's like, oh, Beauty Blender. But like, in theory, like Urban Decay should be a more exciting get for me than Beauty Blender. I thought they might offer the skin tint, which I've heard good things about, and I think I would like based on what I've heard. This was the only highlighter I took, so. And I think there was a couple times where I didn't even wear highlighter. Who am I? Who is she though? Yeah, let's set my face. So I took 2 setting sprays with me, mostly because these are both the travel setting sprays that I had. I brought the Huda one for whenever I wanted to be like as flawless as possible, completely blurred. And Urban Decay sent me, this is like the old Scandinavia version of their setting spray. They sent this to me a while ago and I was like, perfect, it's travel size. I do like this. Only ever tried the all-nighter whenever Urban Decay sent it to me in PR. I hadn't tried all-nighter before that, which wasn't that long before they actually like changed the formula, and I don't like the new one as much. If you miss it, just buy it from Scandinavia directly. Look at my complexion. This was just like the perfect makeup to take for this, because I think it can be, you know, glammed up a little bit, but also it just makes my skin look so good. Like all of this makeup's super compatible and just perfect on my skin. SURRATT foundation is in the shade 1.5, and the concealer, if I didn't say it, is in the shade FL1. I don't think I'm going to zoom you in because all of this is stuff that I saw before. So the HINDASH palettes, this is both of them. I depotted them. They look so great depotted. Like, look at them. Like, they're so beautiful. So I used those a lot. An unfortunate thing happened. I was like, oh, I want to take so many sparkly things for eyeshadow. As I said, I like to take my powder, like, products that I think might potentially break if they get like put in something that like might move around a lot. And my personal item that I took on the plane, I had 2 products that I forgot about by the time I got to New York, and so I never pulled them out to use them, but I really wanted to. And then when I was unpacking and I found them, I was like, oh, I'd never use them. So the first thing I brought that I didn't use is this from Prada. This is their quad in the shade Primula. This is something I bought with Cam in Chicago, and I thought this will be beautiful for like nighttime stuff, and it would have been, except I forgot I had it, so I didn't wear that at all. I also went through some of my indie eyeshadows, and I pulled some sparkly things, and I didn't wear any of these whenever I was in New York at all. I didn't end up using those at all. I also brought some of these. So we'll talk about these in a moment, but let's just build an easy breezy matte look. I brought both of my eyeshadow primers, the matte Ulta one, which I've still been loving, and I also brought the Pixie Epoxy from Fiorine. So I'm going to just apply some of the matte Ulta primer. For the matte eyeshadows, I'm going to just use the Hindash eyeshadows. That's what I ended up using the most when I was there. I'm going to use this Singe EO8 brush and just set the eyeshadow base. I haven't really gotten the chance to really use the Singe eyeshadow brushes. I do actually quite like the Singe face brushes, at least for like creams and stuff. Like I've been liking those shapes, especially like the one brush that I've been using for foundation. I'm not even sure that's what they sell it for. It works really well with like the light coverage foundations. Like it works really well with the Victoria Beckham foundation. And I've just decided that the one is like my Victoria Beckham foundation brush. I remember using one of the Singe brushes and it wasn't very fluffy for my eyes. So let's maybe just do something else. I use one of the Glaminatrix brushes. This is the EO1 from them. And I'm just working in this Hindash palette. There's no surprises here. We're just going to do something very neutral, very brown, just to build a little bit of dimension. Okay, that's it for those. I'm gonna throw on eyeliner real quick. I took 3 of the Victoria Beckham eyeliners. I took Ash, Cocoa, and Black. I did end up wearing all 3 of them at various points. Today I'm just gonna put Cocoa in the waterline. I'm not gonna put it on the lash line at all. She needs chirping. Incredible. So I don't think I need to harp too much. Like, if you've been here, you know these are my favorite eyeliners. Of course, I took them. And I may have bought one more whenever I was in New York. Was it the wisest choice? No. But I was like, I don't think I should leave without a new eyeliner. What's a bad mistake? Okay, let's talk about these. So I took 3 of my like sparkly water things that are really popular right now. I took 3 from Danessa Myricks and I took the shade Icy from Dose of Colors. I feel like I've featured Icy and I've talked about it enough on my channel, but we're gonna kind of like throw in a small review of these ones from Danessa Myricks, if you don't mind. And it's not going to be the most comprehensive thing, but I'm just going to share my thoughts. I do think that they're too expensive and I do hate that they're duos. I do think that Duo 1, it is a perfect duo for me. It contains, oh no, that's not true. Wait, no, Duo 1. Duo 1 is my favorite duo, and if I didn't buy them to test to review, because I will do something more detailed at another time, but like I know that some of you have been asking. I've seen the comments. If there was one perfect one for me, if you have similar taste and color to me, then I think you would like number 1. It's the one that has Interstellar and Mystic Taupe. I think the thing that is shocking to me is that they call them metallics, which Mystic Taupe is a metallic, and in my opinion, it's just as sparkly as the foil. It's just has more pigment to it. Now, they are wet and they feel like they have that wet cooling thing that happens, but they don't burn my eyes. I've used liquid eyeshadows that have burned my eyes and gave me that burning sensation. Once they dry down, this is number 1, Duo 1. It's like so incredible. It's like a really easy, smoky, sparkly eye if you're into that sort of thing. I also took the shade Meteorite from number 8. That's this beautiful purple sparkle. I don't like this thick of a swatch of them, so that's not really how I apply them unless I'm like really going for it. But I have found that just like kind of like gently tapping them on my eyes is the way to get a better version of the effect that I'm looking for. It gives me that more like scattered effect that I'm usually looking for. And applying a little bit and blending it out is also another way. So I'm going to use Interstellar on my eyes from Duo 1, and I'm just going to tap it. And the tapping does work, and you don't really need to like blend it. You can kind of leave it unblended because it doesn't have like a ton of like pigment in the base, but it's nice and sparkly. When I first tried this shade, I like didn't think I liked it. It has some multicolor sparkles in it, but I like them. I don't always like the multicolor sparkle. I also have found that these have pretty good longevity. If I'm gonna, like, running around in the humid city, they didn't do great. But I would say that's also kind of like putting them to the ultimate test. But like, I've worn them out and have like a little bit of sweat in them, and I think that they still held up great. If I've done like powder underneath and I put it on top of powder, they hold up a lot better. If I put them on my bare lid with no primer or anything like that, that's when they like crease a little bit quicker. But I have really oily eyelids, so they're kind of fighting an uphill battle whenever it comes to like my oily eyelids. But I really like them. I think they are beautiful. I'll zoom you in because I feel like you can't really see how pretty this is. But whenever you like draw it on, like whenever you do like a thick swatch of it, like I do on my hand, some people prefer that. And like you have to like kind of really squiggle it on to get that. But look at it, it's so pretty. I really like them. Begrudgingly, I really like them. I don't think they should be duos. I think they should consider selling them as singles. Like I would rather pay $20 each for the 2 singles that I want. And that would be like the same price. The thing that holds them together, the magnet that holds them together, which seems to be like a strange selling point for the brand, I don't like it. It makes them really big and awkward. And even I took a duo and I didn't even take it with the magnet in it because the magnet's stupid. And I'm sure they paid a lot of money to have that made. And it's like, we really didn't need to do all that. I've been very into this kind of thing. I will not be trying the Tower 28 one, mostly because I'm not a no-buy and I don't think there's any chance in heck I'm going to end up on their PR list by the end of the year. Not for any, you know, because I don't think that they would like me or whatever. Just like, I don't think I'm going to be added to any PR lists towards the end of the year. Although I guess Beauty Blender just sent me PR. I already talked about having taken the KULFI mascara with me on the trip. I'm just going to apply that real quick. It was great. This was the only thing in the humid and the rain that held up makeup wise whenever I was in New York City. And it was of course great whenever we were like in the more controlled environment of the Catskills house. The longer I have this mascara, the more I like it. I don't think I like that like ball tip thing on the end, but it also hasn't greatly affected my experience with it. I think lip is maybe one of the more outrageous things that I overdid it on. I had the Edam lip balm with me, but I think it's in a purse right now, so I don't know where it is, but I did take it with me. That was like my lip prep that I took with me. Also my Easy Lip that I took with me. So I took 4 lip liners with me, and I will say that I did wear all of them. There was one day where I wore all of them at the same time because I turned to Kelly Gooch because we were roomies. And if you don't know this about Kelly Gooch is a lip liner girl. She loves a lip liner. And I said, Kelly, which of these lip liners should I use? And she said, all of them. Today. So I did that, and then I put a lip gloss on top, and then she said I wouldn't have done that, but I was like, well, I would have done that. So speaking of lip gloss, I took both of the Mob lip glosses. I really like these. I wore Dark Star only one time, and then I did wear, I really didn't like this one when I first got it. Like I kind of felt like I was like Dark Star, Diamond Star Halo, but it is the one I wear more. So maybe we'll wear that today. I also took the Fenty Icy Amethyst, which I did wear a couple of times whenever I was away, because I was doing a lot of like pinky purple looks when I was away. And then the one lip product that I didn't wear at all was the lipstick in M102 from Mob. I took it. I was like, I'm going to want to wear lipstick one night. That is not true. I'm just such a lip gloss girl, lip liner, lip gloss girl now. It's just who I am. I cannot elaborate further. That's just who I am. Well, the 4 lip liners I took was Refi's Lip Lure Antique, the Mob M159, Liberica from Isamaya, and then Capricorn from Merit. Let's do some Capricorn from Merit, and then we'll use the Mob Diamond Star Halo on top. As a little overview, here's what I wish I would have done differently. It mostly comes down to the eyeshadows and the lip products. Retrospectively, I now know that I wasn't going to wear the lipstick, so I kind of just wish I wouldn't have brought it. I think that would have been the smarter option, the better option, the right option. I wouldn't have taken Dark Star from Mob in the lip gloss, but I would have still taken Diamond Star Halo. I maybe would have cut down the lip liners, but they're so small, I think it's okay that I took all of them. They weren't really like taking up space. But what I really wish I hadn't done is packed these, because I didn't even miss them. Like it was like, I think I got toward the last day and I was like, damn, I thought I packed this. I was like, I remembered making this, but I was like, I thought I packed it, but I couldn't find it. And then when I was unpacking it, I then found it. I would have eventually realized that I didn't have them because I like wearing Archway. So yeah, I think those are the only things I would have done really differently. So here's just a look that I did with some of the makeup that I took with me. I feel like basically taking those HINDASH palettes, that's like the bulk of the makeup, right? Like if I really wanted to, I could have just, you know, like that would have been, that's plenty. Like it could have been contour. I didn't need to take contour. It also could have been bronzer. It was working fine as a bronzer. I just decided to bring a bronzer. So I wouldn't have to, but I'm not upset with the choices that I made as far as like face products. I'm proud of myself for only taking one highlighter and the mini primer. I didn't make a big fuss about taking primers. So I'm actually pretty satisfied with the way I packed. I haven't taken a trip that long in a while, so I was like unsure if I felt like I was overpacking, which I did a little bit when it came to the makeup, but overall, at least a lot of the stuff got touched at least one time. And I think overall, that's really good. Anyway, that's going to wrap up the video. Make sure you check out those links in my pinned comment. Subscribe if you're not already. I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships. You can find those links below. That's just a different way to support me, not necessarily a better way to support me. I'm just very happy that you are here and alive, and hopefully you are well. That's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow your hope and you'll find me. And I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth. Tits out.